Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece manga chapter 1109, Termination. So please like and subscribe if you have not. Hit the bell if you want to see our videos more often. Also, just leave a comment because we definitely love hearing from you guys, your feedback on the chapter and the feedback on a review. I'm Akainu Fanboy. The other guy is Geboss. And so we have the Onigashima merged cover story. It looks like it's going to be a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not excited for it because I'm sick of Wano. And those are my thoughts.
I was going to say, even though we had like 150 chapters of Wano, we're still getting Wano.
Very important. Very important.
Also, this brings up the whole thing of like, from what I remember last time we saw Onigashima, it was still on the outskirts of the capital. So they just threw it in the ocean. Did like Momonosuke move it with his clouds, or
sure. Let's just go with that.
It's unclear how it got here, but
sure. But yeah,
I have heard
Raizo moved it. He with water. Who knows?
Yeah. But I've heard theories that this could potentially be like a like Blackbeard Pirates cover story, like them going to go get Pluton or whatever, which I don't think so. I don't think so, because they just found out about it from Caribou.
Maybe if they found out about the poneglyph scrubby. Wait, no, but they already got it from Law, so I guess they wouldn't need that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so never mind.
But the other thing, which could piss you off even more, is this could be the cover story where Big Mom comes back.
That would be horrific. Oh my god. That would be ass. Or also like a Yamato comes back to the crew through this cover story, something like that. That'd be
just like
too.
Jinbei. It's the parallels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, let's continue. Let's get back to goodness and get away from badness. So
yeah.
All right. So we see the broadcast happening, and we see Vegapunk, and we see Stella, right?
Shaka,
sorry. Yeah, Shaka. Yeah. Okay. And then we see Shaka. So someone pointed, I believe it was Jim Brewer, he pointed out that the dead Vegapunks seem to be in this recording right here. And those are the only ones we've seen that have been killed. Oh, I guess we can assume Vegapunk is dead at this point because we see the heart monitor completely flatline right there, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems he's actually gone. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that death was appropriate, or do you think he is even dead and all that stuff? What do you think?
Well, I think because I think the Gorosei mentioned later on in the chapter, like you could have set up a dead man switch where he the message would play if his main body died. So I think that's what it is, and I still think he could potentially live on as like some sort of AI thing. But then again, we have all the different bodies of Vegapunk that are still there, like Lilith. I think it's Lilith, York, and it's Edison, right, that are left.
Yeah, I thought there was 4 left.
Shaka died. Pythagoras died.
York. Atlas?
Oh yeah, Atlas. So there's 4 left.
Yeah. So one thing I find, so at first I was kind of like hesitant, like, oh, he can't be dead yet, because Oda usually does big send-offs when a character dies, but I guess the send-off can be done in this recording, basically. You know, like he can speak to the world in this recording, and that's the send-off, basically. A body can see him die and everything like that. You know, so it's a little bit more believable. And that is going to be his death right here. I don't know. Should I talk about the Kizaru thing right now, or should we? You know, like we can wait a little bit more, and once we get into that. But basically, it just seems like they're usually going to hijack the transponders of the Navy. So I do like how Vegapunk's very crafty, even though he's kind of been shown to be very oblivious and tone deaf. He can use his surroundings to his advantage in this tricky way, which I find very fascinating. And then we move on here where you see Saturn like freaking out, basically, you know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's kind of like with Bonnie, with the Kuma failsafe, I think he always has like some sort of second plan that he wouldn't leave all this stuff to the Gorosei, especially if like he knows all this information. So if this were ever to happen to him, he feels that it's important enough that it would go out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's also, so when do you think that he recorded this? Do you think that it was when he knew that the government was coming after him, like when Luffy and everyone was there, or what?
I'm kind of like edging more towards the theory that his consciousness is just being uploaded to Egghead, basically, like the lava stratum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's more because, like I said, the fact that it's all the dead Vegapunks up there, I think that's kind of more fitting. You know, so I think he's just so connected to it, or maybe there's just a little bit of life left, basically, where he could transport this message. You know, like that's the failsafe.
Mm-hmm.
That his consciousness is getting uploaded to the Egghead, but what's probably is going to happen is that Egghead's going to get destroyed, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I didn't make a connection with the dead Vegapunks showing up like that. That is an interesting thing.
Yeah, because it's only those three.
Yeah. Well, that could lead further on into, because a lot of people think that this is pre-recorded, and if it is live, then Vegapunk could potentially show like live things that are going on the island right now, on top of relaying all the information that he knows. So
yeah, and that's one of my little theories at the end, but which kind of coincides here where you see the Gorosei freaking out about the situation, like what kind of message is it going to be, you know? And so the impetus for them to show up basically is the threat of this information coming, so that's why they all roll up, basically, you know. They can't rely on Kizaru and Saturn to get there in time, so they need to just guarantee that they can get there to take care of the situation, you know. And then we basically get all these screenshots of the world where you have Dressrosa, and I think at a narrative level, the reason why I think they present Dressrosa is that it's a similar theme that corresponds to when Fujitora is revealing the secrets of the world, when it came to Sakazuki. The world government, and how they had Doflamingo and Dressrosa, and how it pissed off Sakazuki for revealing the secrets of the world, basically. The secrets of Dressrosa, where like how terrible things were with Doflamingo's power and sugar and all that stuff, you know. So
and apologizing,
yeah, exactly. So I think that's one of the narrative points of why Oda's highlighting Dressrosa, you know. And then we always kind of see the East Blue for whatever reason, you know. Just, you know, Luffy. And then, but the other notable island is Water 7, because again, we had Cypher Pole, we had Ohara, we had the Void Century, we had the Ancient Weapon, right? We had all this stuff going on at the same time, right? So this is kind of another example of the government's lies and the government trying to cover up stuff again, you know. So, and I think him presenting both of these islands is like a good way to thematically set this up, you know. And then also with the World Economic Journal, obviously big news, he's going to get the scoop, so he's just kind of there to continue to broadcast that out further. And then obviously when it comes to like the revolutionaries, Dragon's doing his best of helping the situation. So there's a theory that if they do, so I'm trying to remember, it's been a while. Vegapunk put out that call all those chapters back, right? Right.
So do you think that was the Giants? Because the Giants seem to have shown up just because Luffy was there. They heard that Luffy was there. So he could have potentially contacted Dragon, and if this is pre-recorded, he could have sent it out to dragon in case it did get taken down on the main island. Like this recording would go out from the revolutionaries. I thought that was an interesting theory that I saw. But yeah, it's always good to see the different places in the world, how they're being affected by this information.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just wondering where Vivi is right now, because there's the theory that Vivi's going to join up with them again.
Yeah, that's true. And also, it's an additional point. I think part of the reason why they're showing Vivi is because Vivi was another example of the cover-up to a crocodile. Yeah. So also, just kind of like the three islands that were plagued with it a lot. Yeah. Also,
Wappo be looking rough.
He's been through a lot.
I know. But I thought it was funny, just that one image of him.
Yes.
He's like, I'm so in over my head right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, which is good, that's just how One Piece works, man. You have to hit your limits plus ultra, all that jazz, right? So, or run manga. But anyways, Dragon's doing nothing, which it must be a day ending in Y. And then we move on to Luffy becoming a chef and making some dough right here with Saturn and Kizaru. But it was kind of interesting. Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say, when I first saw this, I was laughing because I know you're a big fan of the admirals and everything, but even Kizaru and Saturn got folded just in one thing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's great to see Luffy progress like this though and everything, and you see his power. Now, I will say, as the Admiral stand here, that he did get jumped. Kizaru did get jumped right before this position right here, because he just got done killing Vegapunk. That was his pursuit, and then Luffy snuck up on him and got him after.
If he's faster than light, he could have teleported away.
Yeah, but he just shot his beloved friend. So.
Also, he can still use his powers because he used his sparking. He's sparking Kizaru now.
So with his eye lasers. I think was weird. He's getting all the way stretched back right there. Maybe it's just a plot device, whatever. Could he just teleport easily?
That's what I just said. Yeah.
It's just wait, what? But Oda wanted to fulfill that foreshadowing of the pizza. That's I think our profile picture is me eating a pizza with Kizaru right there. So, but I think that was more on Oda's agenda there. But now I do kind of want to bring up the point where the meme where Kizaru says that maintaining the agenda is our top priority, but the original text is eliminating Dr. Vegapunk is our top priority. So. I do kind of want to. Okay, so I'm gonna try to be. I know I'm biased, but I do want to make this point where this kind of reminds me of Marineford, where Akainu kills Ace, and that was the whole point of the war, was either to rescue or to kill Ace, and then he gets ragdolled by Whitebeard. But so one sense, kind of some surface level fans would just be like, oh yeah, Whitebeard's so cool. Oh, he really got it, that Akainu. But Whitebeard, if you were to look at the whole arc objectively, he was an abject failure for that whole arc. The whole point, this whole war was to save Ace's life, and he failed. And he was supposed to be the great Yonko that fell short, basically. And a lot of his army got wiped out, etc., etc. But now I'm not calling Luffy an abject failure here. But Lucci, Kizaru, they both said the top priority was to take out Vegapunk, though Lucci does make the point that he wanted to wipe out all the paths of Vegapunk, not just, the main body. And Luffy promised Sentomaru, there's no way I'll let the old man die, basically. So, I guess it's kind of one of those things where clearly Oda is emphasizing, whoa, look how powerful Luffy is. It's so cool. He could fight an Admiral and a Gorosei at the same time. But simultaneously, Luffy failed the mission.
Yeah, I think that there is, I don't know, the Vegapunk death I don't think has hit me at the moment, because there's other aspects to him that are still running around. So it's not like he's completely gone.
Yeah, but that's more of due to the skill of Vegapunk, not Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, like, this message going out is going to make the world government's victory not as impactful and not as efficacious, but that's not because of Luffy's effort. That's because of Vegapunk's effort.
So, would you say that it's ultimately the failure of Sanji? Because it said that Kizaru delivered a killing blow.
So, when you're rescuing someone, the focus is rescuing someone, and when you're a super strong, powerful Yonko, you should be able to protect your crew member and an old man, basically. Especially if Saturn's the only one keeping you occupied right now. So,
I'm just saying how far you're gonna budge from the Sanji agenda.
Oh, I just noted it because, like, you're carrying a guy in your hands. Like we've seen it over and over where you're rescuing someone, you're like putting yourself in danger in One Piece, over and over again. So, and Luffy is broken, he is powerful, but he still failed though. Like, the whole point of this arc was to get Vegapunk off, and I would say to an extent Bonnie, right? That's like, I think that's one thing the world government is going to have to take an L on, is that Bonnie's probably going to get off the island. Now, yeah, so, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's more like kind of like, let's just say what the Whitebeard thing in Ace compares to Luffy and Vegapunk, where like the good guy who's very powerful just took a huge L, but we have to salvage his character and make him immediately, like, cream the Admiral, basically, even though the Admiral just took the W for the narrative point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's kind of like, let's just say if Luffy only beat the shit out of Rob Lucci, but Rob Lucci killed Robin. It's like, whoa, look how strong Lucci is. But yeah, but you just failed the whole freaking point of the arc, And so that's why I'm kind of using the Ace example. Like, yeah, Whitebeard. What's the point? Whitebeard, like, really beat the shit out of Akainu for a bit, but he missed the whole point of the narrative. The whole point of the arc wasn't to beat the shit out of Akainu. Mm-hmm. It was to save Ace. Yeah. And so that's just kind of the narrative point I'm bringing here.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying. But so if we're drawing parallels to Marineford, then Akainu's message going out would be the equivalent of Whitebeard telling that the One Piece is real.
You mean Vegapunk's message?
Yes, that's what I meant. Vegapunk's message.
Akainu's message.
The One Piece is real. After he killed Ace.
And Whitebeard too.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that parallel. That's a very good point, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about it. So, what do you think about the time limit? Do you think that it's arbitrary, that Oda's just kind of building tension, like, or what do you think about that? Because it seemed to me kind of contrived, like, we have to wait 10 minutes for everyone to like, what was exactly the thing, the reason for it again?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but it just seems like plot armor, just like for the plot. That's it. Like, he times out as soon as Kizaru goes down at the same time, like, and then we have all this tension where, like, I'm talking about the first time, and then we have all this tension of, like, there's Bonnie, right? And Bonnie and don't worry, Kuma's here to save the day, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I mean. It's just plot contrived, at this point.
It seemed like, we want to get people, but they'll still need a while to prepare their visual transponder snails. So the time to set that up will vary from place to place. So, I guess it's kind of a reason, but still, I feel like the information getting out there is more important than the visual aspect of it.
Yeah. Right.
But Oda does like his, like, time limits, like in Dressrosa and Alabasta, and like Marineford, even, like, Ace's execution is going to be done at this time. So It's something that he goes back to with the time limits.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Like, to be I don't know. That's just me, I guess. But
I mean, sometimes it builds up really good tension, like even in Ennie's lobby with the when Spandam activated the Buster Call by accident. Oh, we need to get out of here before the Buster Call comes.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and you had threats that were like simultaneously there too. So yeah, I like that a bit.
But speaking of,
yeah,
I was just gonna say, speaking of the Buster Call, do you think that it's it seems like they kind of stopped, or they're not going full force?
Yeah, because of the pacifista thing, and so I think this is kind of a good segue where we see like Kizaru getting shot into the ship and everything. And I know there's kind of been the reason why the power level discussion is kind of pertinent to this is because it kind of goes into how the rest of this arc's going to pan out and everything. So some people said that Kizaru is crying. I'm not going to go that far because he says like huff huff.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like horrendously messed up or anything, like I think he took a big hit, but he doesn't look like bloodied or scratched up too bad, it kind of get vibes when Marco kind of like kicked him into the building a little bit, just kind of like a similar type of thing. But I don't know what his psychological state is right now, and if he's having like, because I know kind of like when he got hit with Luffy the first time, we started to see his emotional internal struggle. That's kind of when we first started to see it, right after that. So I think it's possible that he's having some emotions, percolate in him right now, because like it seems every time Luffy hits him, it kind of knocks some sense into him, about like his conscience a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he just killed Vegapunk, right? So he could be like trying to process that right now, Now, in terms of the power levels, do you think, I don't know, I'm going back and forth with it, like, and again, I'm biased. I think it would be weird just to have Oda humiliate Kizaru over and over and over again for all these chapters, basically, without him having a hit back. Even though you could say that Kizaru's whole mission was to kill Vegapunk, right? And he could accomplish the mission, Luffy jumped him. And now there's more of like a narrative reason for him to get more serious, basically. Now that he killed Vegapunk, basically. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, at this point, he just seems like, can this please just get over with already? We've done what we needed to do. But yeah, he just seems like tired at this point, tired of everything that's going on. We might see some sort of heel turn or face turn, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We've had this discussion back and forth with every chapter discussion, whether what's going on with him, because it is fascinating what's going on with him. Like he's sticking out a lot.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of focus on him, and in terms of like the power thing, like it could be very well possible Oda showing that like, look, even admirals can't touch a Luffy. And I know there's a lot of haters in the in the One Piece community, but at the same time, like Oda has like made a point where he does care about their power and their portrayal and everything like that, and he does make a point of it, and that's why he has this whole debate of like admirals versus Yonko that kind of parallels Sanji versus Zoro and all this stuff. Even when Green Bull got humiliated by Shanks, right, like a couple of chapters later, he bags Weevil and off-screens him, just to elevate Green Bull status again, or when, as soon as the revolutionaries like break out all the slaves in the reverie, then Oda immediately sends in the detail, well, they couldn't go all out because all the celestial dragons were there, right? So either Oda's just like ditching that, where it's like, okay, now the admirals are going to be used as like a hype tool for Luffy, or Oda's not going to ditch it yet, and Kizaru's gonna have like a comeback for this arc right now.
Well, I just
in terms of power, even though he didn't complete the mission, but yeah, sorry, go.
yeah, I just feel that this would have been the time to show him going all out. Or at least
Would it though? Because he just killed like one of his best friends.
Yeah. But I feel like this would be a good time to show, like, okay, Luffy's at this point. Let's see how he stacks up against an admiral. And we've seen that to a point, but I just feel that Kizaru's not taking it seriously to a point.
Yeah, see, you can make that point, because if I make that point, they'll say I'm copying and being a stan. So I appreciate you making that point.
Yeah.
But I do agree, because I think the emotional conflict has been illustrated over and over again in this arc.
Yeah, because he just has a broken ability, and if he wanted to be serious with it, he could really do a lot of damage with it. Like, even like we just saw, like with Luffy, like in this chapter, like we knew that it was goofy and everything, but like he's like pancaking like 2 top tiers of the whole world. So
yeah, and I don't think Saturn has the agility to dodge, but he could definitely take the hit.
Yeah.
And I think Kizaru does have the ability to dodge, but he didn't do it for. But like, I mean, think about it this way: if you kill your best friend and then you get kind of jumped like that, you're just gonna kind of be like, a little bit, like maybe like there's some type of emotional trauma for like just killing Vegapunk, and now you're just like, all right, fine, just smash me, in a way, like this is all happening in seconds, so. I don't know. It's a thought there. I think there's more. I think people are being overly simplistic with this whole thing. But I'm open to the idea that he's crying here, though. Like, think about it. He just killed one of his best buddies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm open to that idea. Like, but I think the reason why people just don't want to get that ground is because there's like this toxic debate about Yonko versus Admirals right now. And I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah, I also just wanted to say, I think we had this discussion when Gear 5 was going down with Kaido too. It's hard to tell damage with Gear 5. Because it's so wacky. It's so like out there. Like, what exactly is the damage? Like, with a punch you can tell, but with like flattening an entire person and then spinning them around like a pizza and then tossing them into a ship, it's like, okay, how much of this can you like tell the actual damage that's going on?
Yeah, usually like blood coughing up is like the main way he does it, but we didn't see any of that. Like that's usually the cue that we see a lot of the times. But Kaido was humiliated like this too. And people are saying, well, Kaido like did a lot of damage back, but again, Kaido didn't have a mission to assassinate someone, and also because like Kizaru's not trying to fight Luffy right now. Like he was trying to kill Vegapunk, and I think that's kind of like one of the differences right there, that makes this fight fundamentally different than the Kaido versus Luffy one.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, kind of enough on that, but I don't know. Those are kind of my general thoughts on that debate for this week and everything. But I can't be wrong. I totally can't be wrong. Like Luffy might just be using Kizaru as a hype tool, and Oda's kind of moving on from that paradigm. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Anyways.
Speaking of moving on, I don't know if Kizaru's going to have a place in this next coming up matchup with the end of the chapter. I did not expect this. I did not get spoiled at all for this.
I did
this chapter, and I feel so sorry for you.
I unfollowed the accounts. Don't worry, everybody. I made a mistake, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah. But yeah, all of the Gorosei coming to Egghead was not something I was expecting, and this I think is going to be too much for Luffy, just based on everything, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can even hold them off for the 10-minute time, because I don't think that there's anyone that's going to be able to hold them off. Except
what about Zoro? Sorry.
Z-
Sorry, I
Zoro,
just didn't get the poke.
Zoro's busy dealing with Lucci. Although if
What if he teams up with Base Lucci? Base Lucci.
if he puts on his bandana, he might be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the only thing that could potentially like distract them is the giant. Is the robot giant. But besides that, I mean, we did see like Kuma knock Saturn away. But I don't know. It's I don't see anyone except Luffy being able to stand up to these guys. What do you think?
So the issue is, so like I said, you know my position. I don't think they're insanely strong, but I think they have gimmick powers which are really powerful. So having 4 new powers introduced on top of Saturn, I think can really immobilize Luffy insanely quickly.
Yeah.
And I think there's even another dimension here. I don't know how crazy Oda wants to go with this. I wouldn't doubt that if one of them already knows, or they have some weird sensory power where they're going to teleport directly to the Seraphim, use their Gorosei command, and then they're just going to have the Seraphim come in and start attacking Egghead as well, just to finish off the job. You know, so that's definitely on the table there. I don't know who else could help at this point. Because the Blackbeard Pirates are gone.
Well, Dory and Broggy are coming to where Luffy was.
And I'm going to reestablish my my theory. I think it's been slightly strengthened here. I think Dory and Broggy might go down this arc, holding off the Gorosei, Kizaru, Lucci, Seraphim, Vice Admirals. The list goes on and on. So that the Straw Hats can get away. I don't think the Giants are going to get away. I think they're going to sacrifice themselves, and it will be like a great thing for Usopp to see for character development right before he goes to Elbaf, which is probably going to be like the finale of his like character growth, probably. You know, so that's what I think is going to happen when he sees his idols get taken down. I think that's going to be a good character motivation for Usopp to actually do some shit.
I don't know. I just if that were the way that it goes down, I feel like Dory and Broggy need a moment with Usopp. Rather than Usopp just seeing them. He needs to interact with them in some way. Rather than him being thrown on the Sunny and him seeing them die off in the distance like, no, my masters. Like, I don't think that would be a good conclusion for them.
Yeah,
for their
yeah,
relationship.
there's room for an interaction though.
Yeah.
But I think like the Giants sacrificing themselves is probably going to be the only way, because I think Kizaru's probably going to be like, okay, the Gorosei got that taken care of. I'm just going to kill some Giants out here. You know, I don't want to go back over there right now, you know?
Yeah, but
I think he's going to do something like that, you know?
Yeah, and Bluegrass and Doll are on their way to the island too. And so
and then the Seraphim potentially.
Yeah. So I have a wild theory. It probably won't happen, but what do you think? So all this stuff's going down. They're like fighting Luffy. Luffy finds a way off the island somehow, but in order to stop the message, like maybe the message gets partly out there, but in order to stop it before it reveals like something big, like bigger than the message already is, they like Imu ends up using the Mother Flame, and it ends up sacrificing all the people that were still on the island. Like the Gorosei can teleport out of there, but but like the Vice Admirals, the Giants, like whoever was left there.
I think that'd be very ironic, and I like that idea because the Buster Call force gets Buster called. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And that might be the turning point for Kizaru too, if you were to hold to the thesis of him becoming a good guy in some way, shape, or form eventually.
Yeah. But if that's the case, then I forgot where I was going with it. But if that does happen, it could be like an ultimate trick from Vegapunk, like he was somehow recording it, and that goes out to the world. Like, oh, look what the government does for that.
And look what the Gorosei look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's another theory, that Vegapunk's like it's not a pre-recording, and he's going to show like the Gorosei in their true forms. Like, these are the heads of the government and everything.
Which could change a lot of the hearts of the Marines and the world royalty leaders, not the Celestials, but the actual royals of the countries.
Yeah, but I can definitely see why this is like deemed as a world-changing event at this point now, even more so.
Yeah, but the initial theorists, Jipper, said that Kizaru was going to go down this arc, and that that was going to be the world-changing event, is that Luffy defeats an entire Buster Call with his whole crew, and they take down Admiral Kizaru. But I think this seems more appropriate for the tone of One Piece. It's more like the Straw Hats reveal something crazy, you know? And like I said, this is like more fitting when it comes to, they're showing Dressrosa, they're showing Water 7, they're showing Vivi to represent Alabasta. The cover-ups are finally over. Everything's going to be, Sunlight's the best disinfectant, right? So I think like that's what's probably going to end up happening. Too. Yeah. So I agree. I'm open to the idea of Emu doing that. I'm open to it, but I do definitely subscribe to the idea that the Gorosei are going to be revealed to the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ultimately that's what's going to boil down to also. Them getting exposed. I wonder... So I think last time we did a chapter discussion, I said that it was going to be like... It was going to end at 1,115. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore. We're not going to be able to wrap this up in like 6 chapters.
No.
I think your prediction... Your prediction is better. I think you had like another 10 onto that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, those were all my theories. You have any more? Or?
No, that's it. I've talked good enough already. Like, but I think that's kind of where I'm at with it, at least. In terms of Kizaru making a comeback in the immediate future, I don't think so. I think Luffy's going to be more occupied with the Gorosei right now. But that's just kind of my vibe with it, at least.
Yeah. Do you think that we're probably going to see their true forms? Which is weird because they were only shown in silhouette like not that long ago.
Yeah, right.
Usually,
and I think part of the... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say Oda usually likes to hype up people in silhouette before fully showing them off.
Yeah, right.
And usually it takes a while longer than now. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. And I also think part of the reason why Luffy doesn't have Kizaru right in front of him, and that Kizaru got flown off to a boat, I think Kizaru in conjunction with all of them, I think Luffy wouldn't have been done for immediately, at that point, so I think it's going to be an interesting way to power scale these guys too, because if Luffy can effectively hold off all 5 of them, is that going to make them commander level more? Or if people think they're at admiral level or stronger, Luffy's pretty freaking broken at that point, So we're going to see the limits in Gear 5 pretty shortly, or like at least how we can power scale the Gorosei.
Yeah, so. This is good. This is one of the hardest break weeks in a while.
Yeah, because of that cover story. But yeah. So, anyways, so really good chapter. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, everybody, just leave your comments below. Tell us what you think about it. Please like and subscribe if you are not, and we hopefully will be able to get a One Piece theory out next week. But anyways, this is the Galley La Podcast, and we're signing off. See you later.
See ya.